Okay, before we actually take the quick road trip, I talk about this drone footage later on in the video. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll just pop in a quick highlight of the drone footage and the people that were behind me and how they kind of got a little bit silly. If you want to watch the whole entire video, I will post the entire video of the full canyon, but that kind of gives you an idea if you want to check it out. I'd appreciate it. Be sure to like and share, and then let's go ahead and jump on the motorcycle. All right, and we're off. By the way, I did just fly the drone, so I did make a separate video of me flying the drone in the canyon there at this little rest stop. But this is where I hooked up the little DJI Action 2 camera to my handlebar. And as you can see from the reflections, which I'm now aware of, I put it behind the windshield. So it's a little bit distracting, but it still gives you a great idea of the pathway. In the future, I will see about getting the camera not behind the windshield, so we don't have the extra reflection. But wow, what a beautiful day. Hey, by the way, thanks for joining me. This is Eric Brown, and I am your host and server with Cosmic Cafe Show. And as you may have gathered from some of my other videos here on my channel, CosmicCafeShow.com, prominently placed currently on the YouTube. That's where it's forwarding to, is the YouTube channel, which has been alive since 2014. So now that we're going into 2024, we'll be celebrating 10 years of the Cosmic Cafe. So my interests and hobbies and all that have changed quite a bit over the past few, well, actually even in this last year, just in the last few months. I decided to buy a motorcycle, which was an awesome deal. It's paid a little over $1,600 for it from a guy here near where I live in Central Valley of California, and fixed it up. I've probably already invested another $1,000 to $1,500 in registration fees and new tires and other just servicing and such like that. But it's if you're curious, it's a Yamaha V Star 1100 cruiser, so it's just fun to enjoy and ride. And as you can see through this winding country road here going towards Coffee Camp, what more appropriate place to go for the Cosmic Cafe is to Coffee Camp here in the foothills of California Sierra Nevada mountains. So, by the way, the video makes it look like I'm racing through these roads a little faster than when I actually rode it. When you're riding the motorcycle yourself, it feels much more slow motion, to be honest with you. This watching this video right now is making me go, wow. I didn't realize I was going that fast. But I think the top speed I got maybe was 25 miles an hour, maybe. So it was just a really nice day. The temperature was really good. Fortunately, I had full-on riding safety gear. And as I mentioned, this is I did this route because this is the first time I've done any kind of windy roads at all on the motorcycle. Before this, I did the rider safety course that's co-sponsored by the California Highway Patrol, and I got my license. And well, that was part of the expense also. After that was about $400. But most of my rides before this have been just kind of straightaways, straight roads there in the flat area of the Central Valley, and kind of in farmland area, so it's nice and safe, or relatively safe. You do have ground squirrels and stuff like that like to tempt you, and I did have one dog come out and chase me, actually. So yeah, but as I'm cruising along here, I can't help but keep noticing how beautiful the clouds are in the sky. The next day it actually started raining, and even on the road on the trip back, which is not recorded because it's mostly facing the sun, and the video looked so awful. So later on, when in a few minutes, when I get up here to the red stoplight, that's when I basically not too far past that red stoplight is where I chose, or should I say was forced to turn around. And since we have a minute to talk about that, I might as well go ahead and share that little anecdote with you. So on this motorcycle, as with, I believe, at least all the old ones, mine's a 2003 model, but I believe pretty much all motorcycles have a reserve, even automobiles, some of the older automobiles have a reserve tank, so like when the primary tank runs out of gas, you can flip it over to reserve and go for another few miles until the reserve runs out. So the way the Yamaha V Star is set up is it gets an average of about 35 to 40 miles a gallon. So I was about 120 miles or so, 130 miles. So I figured, okay, I had till about 160 miles before I needed to flip to the reserve, which is it's supposed to be about a gallon. So should give me another 30, 40 miles. Well, let me tell you, maybe it's because of the hills and the incline and everything, but once I got past that stoplight, I was going up some fairly steep hills. Well, I ran out of gas, flipped it to the reserve, and the reserve wouldn't kick in either. And so I was pretty nervous because we're way out here in the middle of nowhere, and there is no cellular signal. So I'm like, well, I'll get the bike turned around. Thank goodness the road was not very busy, as you can see from the video here. And I started coasting down, and I actually tried jump starting it. I was thinking, with a clutch transmission, if you've never driven an automobile with a clutch transmission, there's a way or a technique called popping the clutch, and that's when you let the clutch out suddenly, and it forces the engine to turn over, and it'll get it to start. So if your starter is broken or the battery's dead, you can pop the clutch, get the vehicle running. So I thought, well, maybe I can get it to do that, and it'll force the gas into the carburetor and get her running for me. It didn't work, so I don't know if that technique actually works or if it's just because it was still starving for gas. But I gave up on that and just cruised in neutral down the hill till there's a bridge that you'll be seeing here coming up not too long from now. I cruised down to that bridge, and it was kind of a nice flat area, and I just kind of sat there for a minute and tried turning it over, and luckily that's all it was the gas had settled to the backside of the tank, and it wasn't feeding in, and so that's why, because the gas was so low. But I got it running, and I got it switched, I kept it in the reserve tank, and ultimately I did make it back to the gas station in the nearest town. Talk about having range anxiety. Tesla drivers and other all-electric vehicle drivers will certainly understand what range anxiety is. Well, I had it with the motorcycle, because I think the total tank size is just under 5 gallons. So, but you think about it, if you're on flatland and you're getting roughly 40 miles a gallon, which on the flatland I was, well, figure, okay, 5 times 4, that's 200 miles. So if you gas up somewhere around 150 miles, you should always be fine, which I've been doing. I should have gassed up before I went into the steep hills. So, hey, these are the things you learn as a new rider. So, gosh, what a gorgeous day it was. It just watching this video again. It's raining outside right now. I'm doing this voiceover right now while it's raining outside, so I'm reminiscing about how beautiful it was yesterday. Here's that bridge I was talking about. So just on the other side of the bridge to the left of this video here, that's where I parked the motorcycle and got it started again. And boy, what a relief that was to hear that engine purr again. So when I got to the nearby town, which was I think about 10 miles from that point right there, I tell you what, I was very, very relieved to be at a gas station. Gas was like $5 a gallon, and I was more than happy to pay it, let me tell you. But here's what also kind of confused me is it was I only put in about 3.5 gallons, and I was like, wait a second, I should have, I was thinking it was going to be four gallons at least, with that reserve maybe a little bit more, 4.25, and it was a little over 3.5 gallons is all I put in. So definitely had to do something with the incline. So note to self, and any new riders that are maybe watching this, yeah, see, that's what you would have seen on the entire way back, pretty much, is that sun going right into the screen. That's why I didn't provide the video coming back, because you'd see that most of the way back. That would be very aggravating. But this road was a really nice challenge. I'm coming up towards the end of this whole sequence, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'll leave you a message at the end. But hey, thanks for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe, CosmicCafeShow.com. And again, my name's Eric Brown, your host and server and new motorcycle rider. Oh, and be sure to, I'll be posting the drone video of the canyon that I flew with the river and everything. And there were some visitors that pulled into the parking lot where I was at, and just before I took off with the drone. So when I did a flyover, they did some pretty silly stuff. So you might want to look for that. It'll also be posted there. The date will be, was it like December 29 or December 30 on the video date. So it should correspond close to this video's date. So I'm winding through the roads. I'm getting close to the end of the where the construction zone starts, and also I think the best part of the windy road part that I've been on is coming to an end. So when I get to this traffic light, I basically turn around shortly thereafter. So that's why I end the video here at this traffic light as well. So I wanted to thank you very much for watching my first time ever doing mountain windy roads, and appreciate you liking, subscribing, and heck, why not throw a comment in there. I got very lucky on this day. It was beautiful clouds, as you can see, and weather, and just an exhilarating way to learn how to do mountain roads. Thanks again.